In this video, I want to take a look at the crafting goods and specifically crafting items that are used for blacksmithing, because this is where, on day one at least of the auction house, very early in the development of the game, this is where most of the action is outside of our equipment, armor, and weapons. So the way this works, you select the crafting and dyes category in the auction house. I'm just going to show you how to search for things first of all. This is how you're going to start working towards understanding prices. And you can select in the crafting and dyes category, there's either crafting or dyes. There's not a lot of action with dyes yet in the game. Not a lot of it going on, although there is a little bit there. I'll show you that perhaps if I have a moment at the end here. And so I select crafting, then I select the difficulty level. This is the mode that you're playing the game in and acquiring the goods from salvaging items and equipment. So most of the transactions right now are the items that come in normal mode, which is, for crafting materials currently, Subtle Essence and Fallen Tooth. So again, at normal difficulty mode in the game, the equipment that you get as drops from questing will salvage at the blacksmith into either Subtle Essence or Fallen Tooth. If I were to switch to searching on the Nightmare quality crafting materials, it would be Shimmering Essence and Lizard Eye. So I'll go back to normal mode and just look at Subtle Essence and Fallen Tooth by way of just showing you how this all works. You'll notice there's also a box labeled quantity, and when you first come in here, normally it'll be blank, and therefore you won't see a search button down at the bottom here. So you have to enter a quantity and hit search. And what it'll show you is that currently you could buy one for 30 gold, and that the last 10 trades were averaging 30 gold each. Now that looks like it's pretty stable and nothing much happening there, but in fact if we watch this over the next 10 or 15 minutes, you'll see quite a lot of volatility here. Now be aware that you can't actually buy anything for less than 100 gold in the auction house. So if I attempt to buy one Subtle Essence at 30 gold, it says I can't because I have to purchase at least 100 gold worth of the item. And so this has led to a dynamic where greater quantities sell for higher prices. You know, reverse of what you'd expect. If you buy in bulk, you would expect to pay less. But in fact, if you buy in quantity, it tends to be higher priced in the auction house currently at any rate. So here if I say 5, well, that's a really good price. It's only 10, but unfortunately I can't buy it because it's still under 100 gold. But here I'm just going to go ahead and buy out at 10 gold. Why did I do that? It says the bid failed, and it probably means that I can't do it because it's already sold out. Bid failed. So I'll try another search and you'll see the price won't be available anymore. Now it's up to 30 gold. So I just missed buying at 10 gold. Obviously that was a good deal because the average had been in the 25, 26 to 30 range, something like that. You see the average has now dropped down to 26 gold because somebody just bought some for 10 gold. So in the very early going, this is the kind of thing you want to look for is, you know, you're going to sit here, refresh the prices and wait for that lovely moment to happen when something goes on sale for much less than it's typically going for. But here, if I wanted to buy at 26 gold, I could because it's more than 100 gold in price. The Fallen Tooth, similar dynamic, it's just higher price range because the Fallen Tooth is rarer. It comes only from rare or legendary quality items when you salvage them, whereas the Subtle Essence comes from magic quality items. And you see the price is relatively high. It's going for a unit price of 70 gold opposed to the average of 59. Earlier in the day today I was able to buy for as little as 25 gold, and it's certainly selling in the 60 and 70 gold range at times. Now you see it's at 58. I just refreshed. This is for a quantity of 5. So this gives you an idea of how to start working at playing this market. I think eventually, or pretty soon actually, the price target levels are going to stabilize considerably from what you're seeing right now in day one. But given that it is so volatile right now, there's some pretty good opportunity to just go ahead and make some quick profits. For example, here, watching the Fallen Tooth, just keep refreshing at, maybe I'll take a quantity of 3 or something like that. And remember, you're going to see different prices per unit depending on the quantity you put in. So it pays to keep checking different quantities. Searching for 10, it's still at 58. So right now, price is quite stable. Perhaps nobody's buying the Fallen Tooth right now. But at a certain point, I'll probably see some much lower priced Fallen Tooth, and I'll then want to just buy it fairly promptly. You see the average now has gone up because some people have been buying at above that price level. And this is one way of going about it. Alright, so that's enough said about that. Now I want to explain some differences between posting auctions and when you're doing crafting goods, dyes, gems, versus equipment such as as armor and weapons. When you post an auction for armor or weapons, you set a starting bid price, and optionally you can set a buyout price. And you also have 5 minutes to cancel the auction after you post it, but thereafter it's locked in. You can no longer cancel it after the first 5 minutes. That's for weapons and armor. With crafting goods, materials like these, you do not have a bid price. You simply set it up for a price to sell at, and you also can cancel at any time. So all auctions, no matter what the material or equipment, are for 48 hours or 2 full days, but you can cancel your auctions of crafting goods, gems, and so forth anytime during those 48 hours if you want to get them back into your own inventory or stash. Whereas with the equipment, weapons, material, armor, you are locked in after the first 5 minutes and you can't cancel the auction, so you're committed. So that's a big difference. And let me just do a little bit more looking around here to show you what's going on the first day. So I mentioned that there are some items at the Nightmare level. So if I do a search on Lizard Eye, of course the price is higher, and these prices will come down very considerably from the levels they're at today. Right now there is a premium on these because there aren't very many players in the game at the Nightmare difficulty level right now, so there's relatively little available. So I'm just searching for 3s. I imagine if I go to 1 it might be a little bit cheaper. No, it's the same price. So again, you probably wouldn't see much volatility in that item because it's extremely rare in the auction house right now, so just not much movement on it. Shimmering Essence should be cheaper. And there you go, it is. But again, you see the price per unit is very close to what the average is right now, so not a lot of volatility there. So certainly not something to focus on, I would say, in the first few days. As far as trying to make quick profits in the auction house, you really should stick to the stuff that's in high demand, high supply, high volatility. And as I'm showing you in this video, that really is at the normal level with the blacksmithing stuff. It's Subtle Essence and Fallen Tooth. And I'm in fact having better success right now on day 1 with Fallen Tooth. Just seems to have more action associated with it. That should give you a chance to get started in the auction house. I suggest you spend the first 15 or 20 minutes that you explore the auction house just clicking around and searching the way I'm doing, watching the price and getting a feel for the range. And then once you get in there, you want to sell your stuff, quickly. If you've established that today there's a high range that you can sometimes sell as high as, let's say 65 gold for the Fallen Tooth, and you're able to buy some at 30, get in there quickly and sell at the 60 to 65 range, because tomorrow the price might just not be coming back up to that point again. So you want to move pretty quickly in the auction house in the early going here, because prices, as more stuff comes on the market, it'll start to get flooded out and prices are going to drop. So I suspect that what you're seeing today is rather high on the scale of things as far as how prices are going to stabilize as the game goes on and matures.